Have you ever had your mind go completely blank in the middle of a conversation? That moment of panic when you suddenly have nothing to say. It's not just you, and it's not because you're boring. The conversation paradox is that we actually have too many things to say, not too few. Your brain constantly generates thoughts, but most get filtered out before reaching your lips. This filter is what's making you go blank. Every time you think that's too random or they won't care about that, you're strengthening this filter. The more you worry about saying the right thing, the fewer options your conscious mind has available. Imagine someone mentions they just got back from vacation. Your mind generates dozens of responses. Questions about the trip, comments about your own travel plans, observations about their tan, but your filter kicks in. The tan comment seems shallow, the joke might fall flat, and suddenly blank mind. Understanding that your problem isn't a lack of things to say but an overactive filter is the first step to never running out of conversation. We all face the same paradox every day in dates, interviews, networking events. Those moments when the pressure to be interesting makes our minds go completely blank. Remember the last time you had a conversation that just flowed effortlessly? That was your filter temporarily turning off. Let's learn how to do that consistent. Chapter 1. The Stop Overthinking Principle. What if I told you that overthinking is killing your conversations? That your attempt to say the perfect thing is exactly what's making you say nothing at all? Let me introduce you to the Stop Overthinking Principle. The principle is simple. Say what comes to mind within 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, your filter kicks in and starts rejecting perfectly good conversation material. This isn't about blurting out inappropriate thoughts. Your basic social awareness still operates. It's about bypassing your second queuing system. We treat casual coffee chats like we're being interviewed for a top-secret government position, as if one boring comment will disqualify us from human interaction forever. When you implement this principle, the boring things you say often lead to the best conversations. Why? Because they're authentic, unexpected, and uniquely you. Someone mentions they love dogs. Within 3 seconds, you might think, I wonder what kind, or my neighbor has a dog that barks all night. Don't analyze which is most interesting. Just say one. Even the barking neighbor comment could lead to great conversation about difficult neighbors or noise ordinances, paths that wouldn't open with a filtered response. This principle instantly multiplies your potential conversation topics and removes the pressure to be clever. Think about your closest friends, the people you never run out of things to say with. Notice how little you filter your thoughts around them. That's your goal with everyone. Chapter 2. Curiosity, your conversation superpower. The single most powerful tool for never running out of things to say isn't cleverness, it's curiosity. People who can talk to anyone aren't the most interesting people. They're the most interested people. Genuine curiosity solves almost every conversation problem. When you're truly curious, you'll never run out of questions. And people love talking to curious people because it feels good to be found interesting. The key is genuine curiosity, not fake interest as a conversation technique. Everyone has something fascinating about them. Your job is to discover what that is. The moment you become genuinely curious, conversation anxiety evaporates because your focus shifts from your performance to their experience. When someone mentions their job, don't just ask what they do and move on. Find the aspect that interests you. What's the most challenging part? How did you get started? What would surprise people about your industry? These questions come naturally when you're curious, and they open doors to deeper conversations that go far beyond the initial topic. In a world where most people are waiting for their turn to speak, the person who listens with genuine curiosity becomes magnetic. People remember how you made them feel, not what you said. Remember the last time someone showed genuine interest in your life or work. How good did that feel? That's the gift you're giving others when you lead with curiosity. Chapter 3. The Art of the Follow-Up Question. The secret weapon of great conversationalists isn't having a lot to say. It's knowing how to ask follow-up questions. Master this skill and you could talk to a wall for an hour. Well, if the wall had interests and opinions, follow-up questions transform a basic exchange into a deep conversation. The magic formula is listen, identify details, dig deeper. Instead of jumping to your related experience, stay with their topic longer. Most people switch topics too quickly out of conversation anxiety. But truly satisfying conversations explore subjects with some depth before moving on. Follow-up questions require zero preparation because they're generated from what the other person just said. If someone says, "I just got back from Italy," the basic response is, "How was it?" But the follow-up master asks, "What was your favorite city?" Then, "What made Florence stand out?" And then, "Was it the architecture that impressed you or something else?" Each question goes one level deeper, showing genuine interest while making the conversation incredibly easy to maintain. We've all experienced those maddening conversations where someone asks how your day was, then immediately launches into a 20-minute monologue about theirs without a single follow-up. Don't be that person. By mastering follow-up questions, you shift responsibility off yourself and create space for the other person to share more. This makes you instantly more likable while simultaneously reducing your conversation workload. A true win-win social strategy. Chapter 4. Conversation Threading. Never run out of topics. What if you could turn one conversation topic into 5 new directions? That's exactly what conversation threading does. It's like having a conversation GPS that always shows you the available paths forward. It transforms how we communicate. Conversation threading is identifying multiple potential topics within what someone just said. In every response, people offer several conversation threads you can pull on. If someone says, "I just got back from hiking in Colorado with my brother," though the weather wasn't great, there are at least 5 threads: hiking, Colorado, their brother, the weather, though travel in general. By mentally noting these threads, you always have backup topics when one direction runs dry. It's like having conversation insurance. I want you to try something the next time you're in a conversation. Actually, listen for all the possible directions within what someone just said. You'll be amazed at how many there usually are. Imagine someone says, "I've been working on a website project that's taking forever because my client keeps changing requirements." You could ask about the website itself, how long forever is, what changes the client wants, how they deal with difficult clients, or explore their broader work. By tracking these threads, you'll never face that dreaded "now what do I say" moment. Have you ever been talking to someone and suddenly realized the conversation has completely stalled? That's because you both missed the available threads to keep it going. Now you'll see dozens of potential topics in even the simplest statements, making conversations feel effortless. Chapter 5. The Balance of Depth and Lightness. The most engaging conversations are like a good movie. They have both light moments and deeper scenes. Too much depth becomes heavy. Too much lightness feels shallow. Mastering this balance is how you create memorable interactions that leave people wanting more. Great conversations dance between depth and lightness. Depth creates connection while lightness creates enjoyment. Most people err on one side, either keeping everything surface level out of fear or diving too deep too quickly and creating discomfort. Start with lighter topics to establish comfort. Then introduce deeper elements once rapport exists. When a topic gets too heavy, learn to pivot to something lighter to release tension. This rhythm is what makes a conversation feel both meaningful and enjoyable. After discussing career challenges, depth, you might shift to speaking of work stress. Have you seen that viral video of the guy meditating while his office literally falls apart around him? This maintains the theme while shifting to something lighter. Conversely, after discussing favorite Netflix shows, lightness, you might ask, do you think what we watch actually influences how we see the world? Adding depth to a casual topic. In our social media-driven world, we are losing the art of balanced conversation. Either everything is a hot take or it's all cat video. Real connection requires both. Think of your favorite person to talk with. I bet they naturally balance meaningful topics with moments of humor and lightness. That's not an accident. It's conversational mastery. Learn something new? Hit that like button, share it with others, tap subscribe, and stick around for more. Got thoughts? I'd love to hear them in the comments. Chapter 6. Recovery strategies for when your mind blanks. Even with all these techniques, there will still be moments when your mind goes blank. It happens to everyone. The difference is that now you'll have specific recovery strategies to get the conversation flowing again within seconds. No more panic. Recovery strategies work by giving your brain a clear direction when it's temporarily offline. The best recovery strategies use the current environment, shared experiences, or simple curiosity as conversation lifelines. They work because they don't require creative thinking in the moment, just implementing a proven template. Most importantly, they're designed to sound natural, not like obvious conversation techniques. Look, we're all human. Your mind will go blank sometimes. And that's okay. What matters is having a plan for when it happens so you don't panic. When your mind goes blank, try the environment scan technique. Simply comment on something in your immediate surroundings. This coffee shop has such a great playlist today. Or I really like the artwork they've chosen for this office. Another foolproof recovery is the curious reversion. Return to something they mentioned earlier. Actually, I'm curious. You mentioned you grew up in Seattle. What was that like? Everyone experiences conversation blanks, even professional speakers and talk show hosts. The difference is they've developed recovery techniques that are so smooth you never notice the glitch. These recovery techniques are like social safety nets that let you take bigger conversational risks. Chapter 7: The Conversation Emergency Kit. Every great conversationalist has a secret weapon, a mental emergency kit of go-to topics and questions they can deploy when needed. It's not cheating, it's preparation. And I'm going to give you the ultimate kit right now. A conversation emergency kit contains versatile topics and questions that work across most situations. Your kit should include current events, non-controversial, entertainment, travel, food, technology, and aspirational questions. The most effective emergency questions balance universality with uniqueness. Common enough that everyone can answer, but interesting enough to generate engaged responses. Keep 5 to 7 of these ready at all times, refreshing them periodically so they don't become stale. Instead of the generic, "What do you do?" try, "What's been keeping you busy late?" Instead of, "Seen any good movies?" try, "What shows are you currently watching that you'd recommend?" Rather than have any trips planned, ask, "If you could teleport anywhere for just 24 hours, where would you go?" These questions work because they're accessible to everyone. Where invite more interesting and personal responses. Having this emergency kit eliminates conversation anxiety because you know you'll never completely run out of things to say. Chapter 8: Self-Disclosure. Creating meaningful connection. The fastest way to deepen any conversation is through appropriate self-disclosure. When you share something genuine about yourself, you create an opening for the other person to do the same. It's conversation alchemy, turning small talk into real connection. Self-disclosure works through the principle of reciprocity. When you share something slightly personal, it creates safety for others to match your level of openness. The key word is slightly increased disclosure gradually, not dramatically. Move from facts to opinions to feelings. For example, from "I'm from Chicago" fact to "I love Chicago but wouldn't want to live there again" opinion to "moving away was actually really difficult for me" feeling. This progression feels natural and allows the other person to match your depth without discomfort. Instead of just saying "you enjoyed a movie," add, "It actually reminded me of my relationship with my sister. We had that same competitive dynamic growing up." This small personal revelation opens the door for them to share about their family dynamics. You're not oversharing. You're simply adding a personal dimension that invites deeper exchange and shows there's a real human being behind your words. In a world where we have hundreds of digital connections, but still feel isolated, the ability to create genuine conversation through appropriate self-disclosure is more valuable than ever. Chapter 9: The Perfect Exit. Ending conversations gracefully. Knowing how to end conversations well is just as important as knowing how to sustain. A graceful exit leaves a positive final impression and sets the stage for future interactions. Yet, most people bungle this crucial conversational stage. The perfect exit has 3 components: positive affirmation, genuine reason, and future bridge. The positive affirmation acknowledges the value of the interaction. The genuine reason provides a non-personal explanation for ending, and the future bridge maintains the connection beyond this single conversation. Remember, all conversations must end eventually. A good exit isn't a conversation failure. It's the natural conclusion to a successful interaction. And mastering this skill removes the pressure to indefinitely sustain every exchange. We've all experienced those painful conversation endings that leave everyone feeling awkward. The trailing off, the false promises to catch up soon, the obvious relief when it's over. Instead of an abrupt, "Well, I should go try. It's been really great learning about your photography projects." Positive affirmation: "I need to head out for another appointment." Genuine reason: "But I'd love to see some of your work sometime. Maybe you could send me a link." Future bridge. This formula works in professional settings, social gatherings, or even with strangers. or always leaves a positive impression rather than an awkward feeling. By mastering graceful exits, you complete the conversation skill set. You now have the tools to start conversations, sustain them, recover when they stall, and end them positively, making you a fully equipped, confident communicator in any situation. Let's recap what we've covered. You now understand that running out of things to say isn't about lacking interesting thoughts. It's about excessive filtering. You've learned to implement the 3-second rule to bypass overthinking. You know that genuine curiosity is your greatest conversation asset and that follow-up questions can extend any discussion. You've mastered conversation threading to always see multiple pathways forward, and you have concrete strategies for recovering from mind blanks, creating deeper connections through selective self-disclosure, and ending conversations gracefully. These skills don't just make you a better conversationalist. They transform your entire social experience. Conversations become opportunities for discovery rather than performances to be judged. Social anxiety diminishes as your confidence in your conversation abilities grows. And most importantly, you create more meaningful connections with the people around you because real conversation is the foundation of real relationship. So go out there and start talking. I guarantee you won't run out of things to say, at least not mostly.